Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of A Nigerian Man's Perspective. With me, I have a special guest today, Umar Mamman, who is an urban and regional planner in Nigeria. He's also an activist and a social commentator. First and foremost, I want to thank you, Umar, for joining me today. I'm really glad. We've been talking about this off air for quite some time. And I'm happy that you're live on air. So how are you, first and foremost? How are you?
I'm good. You're welcome. It's been quite a while that we've seen each other. And viewers, good afternoon. This is afternoon here in Nigeria right now.
Fantastic. If you're new to my channel, please give this video a like and we'll just get straight into it. So, Umar, how would you describe the current state of the nation in Nigeria?
Right now, Nigeria is on auto-destruct. Yes. Why am I saying this? The foundation. When you look at the foundations on what Nigeria is built on, it's not solid at all. It's not solid. From the security, because that is number one responsibility of those who are in charge, or politicians, or those who are in power, to see that there's security of life and properties of Nigerians. This leads to, so many benefits. Because nobody wants to come to a particular country or state within that country that is not secure. And, a lot of times you see government officials traveling, they keep traveling, and they want investment.
Yeah.
Are you going to bring your money to Nigeria to come and invest when the country is not secured? The country is not secured. We are importing food. There was a lot of money spent by the last administration, the Buhari administration, to help out those who are involved in agriculture. That money has been spent, but a lot of people are not able to go to these farms. If you want to go into cattle, I'm with you. You wanted to say something?
No, I was going to ask you, why can't they get to the farms?
People can't get to these farms because of the banditry that is going on in the north, and the kidnapping that is going on practically, in the north and in part of the south, and maybe part of the southwest, because it has become a big business. So, for example, we're still practicing the age-old kind of farming. Most of the farming that is being done now for us to be able to progress as a country is mechanized. And the governments have not gotten the right investors, have not, brought in the right machineries to encourage those, at least big farmers that are farming. Okay, you're farming. Okay, the government can go and say, okay, you know what? Since you're doing this, why don't we encourage you this kind of mechanized farming techniques? We have what do they call it? School of Agric everywhere in the country.
Yeah.
But these schools, sometimes you'll be wondering, these schools, are they there so that they will help in the agricultural sector, or they're just there just in the name of school? So security has, damaged the image because everything whenever they call Nigeria now is either for some time now they talk about security. Nigeria is not safe. Nigeria is not safe. Nigeria has not been safe for a very long time.
This is it. This is it.
You know. So what I believe is all this traveling all up and down that these
Mm.
our officials are doing. I think the first thing the government should have done right from the past administration is to, declare state of emergency in security.
Is this national? Is this federally in the
Not
36
so
states or
now
state by
because
state?
security, we're not just talking about just banditry. We're even talking about the basic Nigerians don't just basic rules and regulations, traffic light, the driving on the other lanes,
Mm-hmm.
um, cutting corners. The security architecture needs to be, looked at.
Mm.
Because why am I saying this? Just like how it is abroad, from someone driving a very flashy car, you stop him.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You find out that this person, what he's doing, doesn't correspond with what he's earning for him to be able to buy this car.
Yes. So how is he affording
I
it, or
can
how is
just
she
know
affording it?
someone. Yeah, I can just know someone. That person is in government. He gives me contract. All of a sudden, I'm building a mansion.
Hmm. No
You
questions asked.
understand? So now people are looking at it that I don't have to work hard. All I need to know someone. If I know someone, whatever I do, even if whatever I do, someone is going to bail me out. So there's a major problem with security, and this security has to do with politicians
Hmm.
because some of these politicians use some of these people that are perpetrating this insecurity to help them win election. And these people, when they help them win election, they are not able to prosecute these guys because they have helped them in one way or the other. And these guys
In the
can expose some
past.
of these politicians. Yes. Sometimes they use some of these guys to go and kill other opponents. Because you know how Nigerian politics is very violent. It's a very violent process. So it is not it's not normal. You have to have a lot of heart to be able to go into politics, and that's why it's unfortunate that a lot of people that have things to be able to contribute are not able to. They don't want to go into politics because of all these things.
Hmm.
Then you now have the
Hmm.
situation whereby the Nigerian police, the Nigerian security forces in general, the way I look at it is like they don't even know what their role is anymore.
Hmm.
Because you will drive, for example, from Yola to Abuja, and what you see is most of the times security operatives collecting money from the bus drivers, or some of these commuters, some of the people that have private cars that probably don't have a driver's license, or maybe a complete car particulars. You end up paying money. When you pay money, they let you go. So these guys, we cannot fully blame them because they are not well taken care of. They are not the all the necessary things that they are supposed to have, the training, the equipment, and all the necessary training is not properly
It's lacking.
given to them.
Hmm.
Yes,
Hmm.
So without this sorting the issue of security, this is what is leading to, you see, okay, every time you hear they go to a school, they kidnap students and they take these students away. Some of these schools are even within the town. So if there's security,
Like the
we
Chibok
don't hear of,
situation and
yes,
so
like
many
the
other
people,
situations.
the Karakara, where the president was in Katsina.
Hmm.
President Buhari, former President Buhari, was in Katsina at
Mhm.
that time. It was just some kilometers away from him. Kidnappers came, carried a couple of girls or students, went with these girls. And the funny thing is, whatever happens, you don't have security agencies updating you.
Hmm.
Nobody is updating you. This is what has happened, and we have our team. They are tracking
They're on top of it. They're on top of it.
they are on top of it, giving us day to day
Hmm.
information about what they are doing. All you hear is after some time, you don't hear of this case anymore.
Yeah,
After some
precisely.
time, you don't hear of any. The only thing you see, maybe sometimes Nigerian police, they just parade certain people and they say these ones, they caught them, they are kidnappers. They start asking them questions. I don't even understand what they are doing because when you catch, you're supposed to take to the court so that they will prosecute them. And when they prosecute them, give them jail term. And this thing should be so fast in such a way that people will see that they are prosecuting these people that are perpetrating any unlawful activities. But every time you either hear these people are being released, these people are being negotiated with. You
Hmm.
understand what I'm saying? They are negotiating with them. You hear people saying, "Go and negotiate with them." They are paying ransom. You know, the
Yeah.
last regime, the Buhari regime, at a time they said they were going to list some of the people that were financing uh, all these people that had to do with, I think, Boko Haram and this banditry, you know.
Mhm.
But until then, nobody said anything. You know, when the people in government don't do anything, there's always something fishy.
Hmm.
There's always something fishy. Yes, there are people that probably are involved that they know because these people they are not ghosts. We have SSS in every local government.
So like a
You're supposed to have
connivance in a way,
not necessarily, you
hmm.
know, it could be a situation
But not
whereby
necessarily.
this person this person has helped me into government and is involved in banditry. If you now prosecute him, he will expose you.
Because he has the information.
So yes, he has information. He can say he helped you. He did this.
Hmm.
You know. So they are very very careful about who they prosecute. They are very very careful about who they prosecute. But the thing is, we must tell ourselves the truth. The truth is that the security architecture, like a lot of people have been saying, people have done research, they have talked about it, so many seminars. Recently, they talked, the vice president was in Sokoto, what was it, talking with the Sultan and everything, just like how the Sultan reiterated. It's not about talking. We need
Hmm.
to sit down. What is the problem? The problem is one, the economy. The
The
economy doesn't
economy.
give
Yeah.
room for
Hmm.
for someone to be able to thrive in. Why are people leaving this country? Because they know that when they leave, they go to this country, a particular country, there's an enabling environment for you to thrive. If you are hardworking, you are truthful, you're determined, you will thrive by the grace of God. But here, how do you even want to start? They do a program that is for agriculture. They share it among themselves. Or the billions that are spent on the different agricultural programs. They are investigating the, what do they call it? The former CBN, Godwin Emefiele. They are
Yes.
investigating him,
Former
you know,
governor.
so former CBN governor, and in the first place, the CBN is not even supposed to do that. Why do
Hmm.
we have all this bank of assets? Why do we have all these banks?
Bank of
These banks
Industry,
are
Bank of Agri. Yeah.
Bank of Industries and all those. So, you know, whatever they are doing, I don't think they always used to go and sit down and, first, how can we maximize whatever we are doing?
Hmm.
Then two, are they taking data to see what are their achievements?
So you're
And
looking at
if
benchmarking in a way to say, okay,
this is our target, did we hit our target or did we exceed it?
hmm,
In Nigeria, one thing we have to understand is they don't like data
hmm.
because data tells you whether you are failing or you're not failing or you're doing well.
Yeah, and it's quite
So
objective.
yes, they just
There's no
prefer to
sentiment.
just come and
There's no
tell
sentiment
you
with data. Yeah.
there's nothing because it's simple. You are spending this amount of money for you to do this program, and if it
Hmm.
is not worth the while, why are you spending this amount of money? So I think that's how our politicians need to think. The president is traveling. How much is he spending to travel? And what is Nigeria benefiting?
Hmm.
Whoever is traveling, what are you bringing back? You hear the American president going to Saudi Arabia, and he's coming back. When he comes back, he's telling you he has signed a deal for over so amount of years, $100 billion contract to supply them. You get what I'm saying? So he spent so amount of money, but this is
Really,
what
really.
the country is benefiting. So our president, he travels, or ministers, because they always travel, they're always traveling. You directors are traveling, ministers are traveling. That's why when you look at the budget, a lot of times they are always traveling. These are just ways of legal corruption. They travel, they have their Easter codes, and these are ways in which they embezzle money. It's not about really going abroad because they're always traveling abroad and they see how organized it is abroad. So why don't they come back and say, okay, we've seen this. Why don't we come and you know
And
do
introduce
this?
it.
Okay,
Yeah.
when they go to they enter this train system, they see all the things that are functioning. So why don't they introduce all those things? Why don't
Hmm.
they? Because they are very unpatriotic. They're very unpatriotic. That's why you see the president of the country, he would travel abroad to go and treat himself. Probably it's even in Nigeria that is going to treat him because we have
That's
the
fair.
highest black doctors abroad in the world. You know,
Yes. Yes.
so
Yes.
you know
Absolutely.
when it comes to security, the government needs to sit down and he needs to. It has to be a weekly It has to be a weekly thing. There's kidnapping. What did they do to
So I
set
have.
up something?
Hmm. So go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry.
What have they set up to see that if today my child, God forbid, has is kidnapped, right? Who do I
Hmm.
call? You understand? And this agency or whatever it is, how do they make sure that they try and get my child back? Look at the kidnapping that took place the along the Abuja Kaduna the train station. These people ended up paying millions to recover these people. And these guys, when you pay them this money, they are using it to upgrade themselves, but get drones, get other
Hmm.
sophisticated while we are just there. I don't know what we are doing.
Hmm.
I don't know what we are
Oh.
doing. You know.
So the question I had for you, and thank you very much for that comprehensive breakdown. My viewers, please leave your comments on what Umar has said so far. We want this to be a two-way street. Leave your comments and add more to what he's saying. They'll make the conversation even more lively. So what I just wanted to say was you touched on a lot of things with your answer regarding the state of the nation from a security perspective. And this conversation that we're
Mm.
having is going to touch quite a lot of areas. So going back to the security point that you mentioned, you see, there are some key security agencies in Nigeria. We've got the Nigerian Police Force, we've got the Nigerian
Yes.
Armed Forces, right? Which includes
Yeah.
the Nigerian Army, the Nigerian Navy, and the Nigerian Air Force. We've also got the DSS, which is the
Yes.
Department of State Services. We have also got the NIA, which is the National Intelligence Agency. We have
Yes.
also got the NSCDC, which is the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps. We have also got the EFCC, which is the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. We have also got the FRSC, which is the Federal Safety Road Safety Corps. We have also got the NIS, which is the Nigerian Immigration Service. We have also got the NDLEA, which is the National Drug Law Enforcement
Wow.
Agency. So I've just mentioned 9 different agencies, which is
There's
quite
the
a mixed
ICTC.
bag. Exactly. So my question now is, you touched on a lot of things. You touched about corruption, you touched about training, you touched about resources in terms of not paying some of them well, and their equipment, which could hamper maybe some of their operational capabilities. You also talked about political interference, where you gave the example of banditry. Not that government is actually promoting banditry, but in some certain cases they look the other way because maybe those certain bandits from your perspective have actually helped some of these people get into power, and that's why they look some of the other way, which now causes a lack of trust to the government. So my
Yes.
question now is, for you, is that what do you think, um, without going into detail of each and all the agencies I mentioned, what do you think can
Yes.
be done to improve these agencies' effectiveness, which can now which can contribute to making security? And I know you mentioned that security is linked to so many things, and I also want you to expand on that
Yes.
as you talk about how
Mm.
security is linked to politics, how security is linked to economics or the economy of the country, how politics is linked to even sports, so different areas
Mm.
of or education. So I'd like you to just
Yes.
give a response to that, and then you continue with your with
Yeah.
uh
Thank you. Thank
with
you. Thank you very much, Yemi. First things first. We need to take the national identity card very, very serious. We need to take it very serious because when you are abroad, you know, the first thing is whenever something happens, they check you. Who are you? So everybody needs to have this national identity card. You should not be able to do anything. You shouldn't be able to do anything in Nigeria without your national identity card. Anything. You
Hmm.
understand? And if you don't have this national identity card, there was something that was proposing. You have ward heads. In the first instance, the national identity card, what they did is they just opened some offices. For me, what they would have done is all the local governments, they would have just had a department of national identity card. If
Hmm.
you are if you don't have, because there are a lot of people that don't have birth certificates and all those things. Some of them they give birth at home, so they don't bother to go to the
With
hospitals,
midwives,
and that's
and
how
yes.
and all those things. You understand? Till now, even some people within the towns and all those things. So if we make it in such a way that it's difficult for you to do anything in Nigeria without your national identity card, right? Then people will be forced to get this national identity card. And whatever is happening, we will know. Are they foreigners? Because there are situations whereby they tell you that some of them are foreigners. They speculate they are foreigners. Whatever it is, we will know. And
We'll
once
know.
you
Yes,
know,
we'll know.
you'll be able
Yes.
to you'll be able to get the right you put the right measures in tackling whatever situation it is. You see, the national identity card, it tells you whether you are unemployed, whether you are employed. If you are employed, what are you doing? Are you a
Mhm.
farmer? Are you in civil service? Whatever it is, we don't
Yes.
even need to start doing what do they call it? We don't even yes, we will still need the census. You understand? But
Mhm.
the moment a child is born, that person should report to the local government so that he'll be updated. He will be updated. Okay, Yemi, your child, your wife just gave birth.
Yes.
You used to have two kids. Now you have three kids. They know that you have three kids. By the time he's 18, automatically he gets his national identity card. And once he gets to 18, what is he doing? He's a student. Is he a student? Is he doing business? Whatever it is he's doing, it will say, right? It would have even helped in distributing this palliative that Tinubu administration were trying to give. But
Mm.
because of we don't have a reliable data as regards our people, there was a
Mm.
lot of controversies, different opinions about whether it will get to people or it will not get to people. The same thing when you are trying to help out in subsidizing for agricultural. You already have the data. You already know that this person is a farmer. He's doing so thing. So if you are helping him, you know the local government is all these things will help you know, okay, these are the people, they are from so area, and this is what we're going to help them for. And they will keep on getting this data.
Their
What is the
demographics. You know
output?
their demographics.
Yes. What is the output after the whole what they have spent? What is the output? Is it
Mhm.
successful? If it's not successful, what are the hitches so that they can keep on improving on whatever solutions because you are constantly looking for solutions. That's the thing these
Mm.
people don't understand. You cannot keep doing the same thing and expect a different
Different
result.
results.
That is one.
Yes.
Yeah. Two, this ID card has to be attached to something. If you're a British citizen or an American citizen, you know you have at a certain age, you have free healthcare, you have free education, you have something that makes you guard that your citizenship, makes you loyal to your
Mm.
country. You know that this country is giving you something you are benefiting, so you don't want a situation whereby you will spoil it. You are loyal. You don't want a situation whereby this country, because it belongs to everybody. And that's why
Yes.
you see that people don't have this sense of belonging. Another thing is we
The
need to remove
national,
this state of
like a
origin.
national identity, national pride is what you're
Yes,
saying. That national
we
pride.
need to remove this state of origin.
Aha, you're
I think
talking
at the
somewhere.
time, at a time, there was talks about it, but people that are not progressive, people that are not looking forward, will always bring. Our people don't like change. They are used to
Mm.
something, and once they are used to something, they don't want something that is going to, bring change, something that's going to be progressive. Why, for example, me and you, we grew up in Lagos,
Yes, we
right?
did.
We know the problems of Lagos. Then they now tell you that because you are not, maybe it's for someone like me that was not born in Lagos, even though my dad brought me when I was around 2 years old.
Mm.
I've spent how many years in Lagos, and they say I cannot contest. You see,
Mm.
automatically that shows you that there's like a discrimination.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying? So you have Igbos, for example, in Bauchi. He doesn't know anywhere apart from Bauchi.
Mm.
He has contributed to the economy through his businesses, employed people,
Yep, 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 yep,
right?
yep.
Paid his tax. He knows the problem of Bauchi. he can easily, prefer solution, but they will tell you that that person cannot contest because he's not from Bauchi.
Hmm.
So you now have someone who is a Bauchi State indigene, maybe by his father, is
Hmm.
maybe probably born abroad or probably born in Lagos, right?
Hmm.
And he has not lived in Bauchi. All of a sudden, maybe because his dad is a minister or someone top in the presidency, a popular family, and all of a sudden his son wants to go into politics, his son can just come back and contest
And they endorse him.
and become either the Baltimore state governor or a senator from his senatorial zone or a House of Reps member or a state member. Now, how will this person that doesn't know this terrain, doesn't really understand the difficulties,
Hmm.
provide solutions? You're going to look for solutions for people you don't know, an environment you don't understand. How do you provide? So you see, that
It's
is why
difficult.
for me, residence, place of residence. Where are you resident?
It's key
First things
rather
first,
than
are you in Nigeria? Then
yes.
where are you resident?
Okay.
That's what me, I think it
And the
will
national
even
ID
help
card, like you
to
said.
unite, you understand, Nigerians. Because now anywhere you go, you know that you can benefit just like wherever you go. Like the universities, for example, they have what they call catchment areas,
Hmm.
you know. So these catchment areas, if it's within your catchment area, there's like a score that if you get, let's say for example, if I'm applying to ABU's area and
Mm-hmm.
I'm from Baltic State, and Baltic State is a catchment area for ABU's area. If
Yeah.
from the catchment area, I have preference other people that I don't have catchment areas that are not from that catchment area.
Because you're closer
Why
to
can't
yeah.
it just be yeah? Why can't it just be a level playing ground where everybody can compete? Yes, there's a national scholarship that everybody goes and writes this scholarship, the scholarship exam. If you get so amount, whatever you get, it entitles you to this scholarship.
Mhm.
You know, so that's the issue of what do they call it? State
How
authority.
we can how we can address yeah.
Yes. Then the police is and all the security forces, they have been overstretched.
Hmm.
That's one, because we have like one policeman to I think 400
Citizens.
Nigerians
No,
citizens. There are places
that's
where
that's
you go that you don't even
that's not
see
enough.
any presence of any police.
Huh.
You will drive for like an hour, apart from seeing them on the road.
Or checkpoints.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, just
Hmm.
checking points. And these checking points, most of the time, they are just there. They are not really what they are doing is just basically collecting money from what do they call it? The people that are the drivers that are driving this public transport. So some other people that don't have the necessary documents for them to be able to. They just use that to exploit them. You know, so we need to recruit. The plan was to be recruiting, I think 10,000 every year. We need to recruit. We need to train them properly. And all these agencies you named earlier on needs to know what exactly is their functions. Yes, their functions are there by law,
Hmm.
but there are issues of the IG of police, the president appoints the IG Inspector General of Police. The president appoints the inspector general of police. He has control over the inspector general of police. So what happens sometimes is, even if a court gives judgment on a
Hmm.
particular case, if that judgment is against the interest of the government in power, they can decide not to execute that order
Order.
that has been given.
Yeah.
For example, okay, look at the issue of what is going on in Kano. You have someone, Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, that was dethroned by law. States, the state assembly passed a law, divided the emirates, and removed him with trumped up charges and all those things, because till today nobody has prosecuted him for whatever reason. It's only them that know.
Hmm.
He left. Then now, recently, you now have a situation whereby the same state house of assembly of Kano repealed that law, brought him back, installed him. But because they are an opposition party, the NMPP, right?
In Kano.
And the person that they removed
Hmm.
is the former governor, who is one of the APC chairman, present chairman, who used to be former governor of Kano State. But because there's interest from the federal government, they brought the person that they dethroned and they are giving him security. While the person that the law, that is the house, state house, have
Yeah.
brought back.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? That person is not being provided security. So there must be a situation whereby the security forces are independent. The security forces heads, all the agencies you call the ICPC, all are being appointed
FRS,
by the president.
yeah, NIA, DSS, yes.
They are all appointed by
They're
the
all appointed
president.
by the president, yes.
So the president can remove you and appoint you at any time he wants. He can decide to remove you even if you have done something wrong or you have not done anything wrong.
Yes, yes.
So they are not loyal to the state, they are loyal to the president.
Hmm.
So there's a conflict of interest in the sense that
You see that as problematic. You see that as problematic.
very problematic. Why? Because now I appoint you as the Inspector General of Police, and you now catch some of my supporters.
Hmm.
I can call you and say release them,
Hmm.
and they'll be released. If you don't release them, you'll be sacked.
Hmm. Pick
The
one.
same thing in EFCC. The same thing with EFCC. Why was Bauer removed? The former EFCC chairman. Why was he removed? And why is he not prosecuted? The one before Bauer, Magu, the same thing. They were to prosecute him. Apparently, all these people have evidences against them. So you can truly not be able to prosecute all these people. Why? Because they know, Yemi, the truth is, corruption is in our faces.
Yes.
And the society, and this is another terrible thing that's happening in Nigeria. There's a societal problem where people now begin to look at you, someone that, if you are honest, as someone that is not, you are not regarded as something, because the society doesn't reward people that
Honesty.
are truthful, people that are hardworking,
Integrity.
people that are honest. No, The society doesn't reward this. Society rewards you if you are in government, you have gotten money, you have stolen money, you have given traditional rulers money, you have given religious leaders money. You start getting chieftaincy titles all from different places.
Hmm.
Like my dad used to say, to be a chief, you must be a thief.
Hmm.
Nobody is giving you traditional titles now because of your good Samaritan. Good, you have to have money. You have to be able to contribute.
Hmm.
So we
Very
have
simple.
this
Very simple.
mindset now in this country now that the moment they see you and you're well to do, the thing is they expect you to give them money. And how do you give? Where do you get this money to give them?
Where are you
You
going to
have
get
to
the money
steal.
from?
You
Hmm.
have to steal money. You cannot be a businessman. You will not meet Dangote and God Dangote will just give you money. Or Otedola will not just remove money and give you. He has worked hard for his money. He has gone through so many difficulties before he made his money.
Hmm.
It's when you get easy money that you can easily give out. And that's why you see these politicians, you will see you will see someone. Look at the president, how old is he? Look at Atiku, how old is he? Look at Obasanjo when he was the president, how old is he? Look at all the people that are being given as ministers, how old are they? Look at other countries. How old is the Prime Minister of Britain?
Hmm.
How old is the Prime Minister of Canada?
Hmm.
In Nigeria, here they will tell you no, he's too young. And these people don't think about, if you have someone that is 20 something, 30 something as the president of this country, he's thinking about 20 years. In the next 20 years, if he's 35, he's thinking about in the next 20 years or in the next 30 years, he'll be 60. So whatever is going to be, the policies will be geared towards in the next 20 years, how do I want to see this country?
Yeah. Yeah.
This country, is it going to be in a good state?
Mm-hmm.
But these people, because of their mindset, they're thinking about all they are thinking about right now. They are thinking about 2027. Whatever when they are talking now, they will tell you 2027. They are just thinking about the next election. Why?
Hmm.
Because it's all about power, it's all about greed. Nigeria has no business being poor with
Hmm.
all the
Nigeria has no
natural resources
business
that God
being.
has blessed us with everywhere, 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 from the west to the south to the north to the east. We have intelligent people everywhere doing well in top places abroad. Medical doctors, you will see chief medical doctors in America, and when you see the name, it's a Nigerian name. You see the Nigerians are doing well everywhere. Why? Because the enabling environment is there for them to thrive. In Nigeria
That's the
here,
missing link.
you want
Yeah.
to do yes, you want to do well. You are trying to do something here. You see people frustrating you right from even your house,
Hmm.
right from your house. Because we are all competing amongst ourselves. Who can oppress who the most? So that's why you see a situation whereby these people don't really think about the poor. How do they help these people stand on their own feet?
Hmm.
So instead, they weaponize this poverty so that you are dependent on them. So
Hmm.
once you take care of trying to see that your citizens have something to do, the issue of insecurity, but there are so
Will
many other things,
reduce.
power,
Yeah. I mean,
real,
yes.
when all these things will create jobs, when they create jobs, people will not have time to be doing all those, what do they call it, toggery, political talks, maybe, you will always have bad eggs within the society, but at least to an extent, you have an option, but for
Yes.
now, the options are very, very limited. So
Limited.
when you take care of all the security um, forces to make sure that as a Nigerian, when you break an offense, you will be punished for it. Nigerians
Yes.
go abroad and they follow all these rules. They follow all these rules. Why? Because they know that there's a system in place to catch you, to make sure that you are being prosecuted.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So then after that, you now come to the judiciary. The judiciary is another whole ball game. The whole system, what they don't understand is interlinked. If the police catches you and you're not prosecuted by, you don't have, you're not being treated fairly, no matter what, you are only guilty until you have been proven guilty. You need to have
Absolutely. Innocent.
prosecutors.
Innocent until proven guilty.
Yes, you are innocent until proven guilty. You need to have, we have prosecutors, that, okay, even if you don't have money and you have been caught for something, someone will come and at least to be able to stand for you and try to see that, okay, you have a fair hearing. And how fast do our courts carry out these cases? So the judiciary on its own presently is being tested because of some of
Right.
these frivolous judgments. You see courts that don't have jurisdictions, instead of them to simply just dismiss the case and say they don't have. Instead, they keep Nigerians, you know, waiting for weeks for, and everybody knows that this court doesn't have jurisdiction.
Hmm.
But they don't have jurisdiction for the fact that they have taken that case to the court. They need to still hear them out,
Hmm.
and they keep dragging the cases. They keep dragging the cases. So the judiciary too needs reform. Sometimes the judges in particular states do they are not even enough. The cases
Hmm.
that they are encountering, they are too many for them. Then you now have a situation whereby the judiciary itself is not independent
Hmm.
because the governor is one that selects the chief judge. The president is one that selects the minister of justice and attorney general, which the Oronsa report has, recommended that the attorney general and the minister of justice, it should be broken. The attorney general should be different, whereby the attorney general will be just be prosecuting.
So right now, you're saying that both of them are linked. You've got the Minister of
They
Justice and
are
Attorney
linked.
General
They are
in one
linked
role.
because who
His
is,
own role.
oh, okay, for example, all they say Buhari's regime is the most corrupt
Hmm. Is that a fact?
regime. Yemi, the things that were going on, the round tripping. I don't know if you know what round tripping is. People going to collect dollars
At official rate
now at official rate and change.
and then selling it. Yeah.
They're in the
The markup.
news. You understand? They're in the news. These people they destroy this country because of their selfish interest. We talked about the former Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Sadia Umar,
Hmm.
being investigated for 37 billion. This is a minister under the regime that was supposed to, take care of, issues of humanitarian. Or they set up this for people that are poor, how they can help out these poor people. You know, they've called her, they're investigating her. Nobody's talking about her. There was the issue of the Niger Delta Commission where they were investigating the okay, so there are so many issues like that, corruption, whereby you don't hear of these cases. You don't hear of these cases anymore. And once you are not prosecuting these people, this it gives it doesn't deter people from taking being corrupt, because you know that at the end of the day, one way or the other, nobody's going to prosecute me. You get what I'm saying? So the judiciary, there's the issue of being independent. They are not independent. They are still being financed by the state government and the federal government. They don't have their financial independence. So they need that financial independence so that they don't have to answer to the executive. You now have those who are supposed to quickly amend these laws. As this country, things are coming up. You have the legislatures that are supposed to be amending laws. When something happens, it's not beneficial to the country. They can quickly amend these laws and see that okay, it helps in advancing the cause of Nigeria being developed. But still, the same thing. So there are a lot
Yeah.
of issues. There are a lot of issues. There are a lot of
So
issues.
thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can
thank
hear
you
you.
very much. I mean, you've broken down a lot, and the viewers, if you're still with us, please subscribe to this channel. Umar has been dropping a lot of gems, and he has taken this conversation from the security standpoint that is first started in. We have gone through the actual security challenges, what can be done. You know, he talked about the introduction of the national ID card. He also talked about the agencies working together and ensuring that people are connected, that the populace is connected with the government. He also talked about the appointment on how the the autonomy of some of these agency heads, the effectiveness of them being able to act independently when they are being appointed by the president. The president can say, okay, I don't want that person arrested, or arrest this person. Another person by law is supposed to be acting autonomously and independently, but in practice, because of the way the constitution is written, that person may not have, or does not have the, I mean, he has it, but he or she is at threat of probably losing their job. And we know that nobody really wants to lose their job. So it's a very difficult thing for them to say otherwise to what the president is a suggestion. And Umar also mentioned, the abolition, or the proposal of the abolition of the state of origin, and introducing a place of residence, which will even foster more inclusivity across the whole country, which will bode well, because the way you are more inclusive and where you are wanted, you're likely to even do more more investment in that area. You're more invested there because you know that okay, you have a chance, your family has a chance. So he's touched on a lot of things, and I think it's been it's been a very robust conversation. So I have a couple of more questions, and definitely from my perspective, I definitely want you to come back to the channel, and because I think there's a lot we can talk about. So for me, the next question I have is something you touched about when we're talking. You talked about the youth. So, and the youth are very, very important to Nigeria. So I don't have the statistic. If I find it, I'll put it on screen. But Nigeria has one of the largest youth populations in the world. Now, the most distressing thing about this particular thing I'm just saying is that a lot of those youths are doing nothing, both male and
Yes.
female, doing nothing. They're up to nothing. They're not productive. They're not adding. Yeah, yeah. To be fair, a lot of them are also creative. You see skit makers. You see many people going into, but that is still a small fraction of the youth. You still have a lot of youth that have finished school. Some don't have the opportunity to go to school, but some have finished school and there are no jobs, right? So my question is this: with youth employment a growing issue in Nigeria today, as of 2024, what strategies, in your view, can be implemented to create job opportunities for young people? That's my question.
Thank you, Yami. Yami, we're still going to go back to the same thing. Security. Once we go back to
Mm,
this, once we go back to security,
Yeah.
There are a lot of youths that have finished university. Why are they not hiring these people? Since we need security, we
Hmm.
can get jobs through them, right? Power. We cannot develop without power.
Hmm.
If we train our youths, a lot of these expatriates that are coming to do all this work that we're doing here as regards the power sector, we will have our youths doing working. We have people that most of these politicians are unpatriotic. What am I
Hmm.
saying? They go abroad for their medical checkups. If they are doing all these
True.
medical checkups here and they trust in and they invest in our hospitals, they've set up NHIS and all those things. But how serious are these programs? You understand?
Hmm.
A
Hmm.
lot of people, when you hear them, the complaints about the NHIS, the kind of drugs that they give you, you will not even want to take them. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if they
Hmm.
invest in the health sector, a lot of people that one are running, a lot of our doctors are leaving because
Yes. Yes. Yes.
the working conditions, because they are using these monies, the politicians are using these monies to go and treat themselves abroad. If they've invested this money, they are going to create jobs through that, through
Hmm.
this means. Um, in agriculture, Nigerians are not lazy. If
No.
you
No. No. No.
invest
No.
money in agriculture, do you understand? If you invest money in agriculture, bring in the right people. If you have tackled the issue of security and people are coming to invest in agriculture, advertise Nigeria. The United Arab Emirates, okay, the United Arab Emirates, for example,
Yes.
they weren't going around begging people to come to their country. They just made
Hmm.
it easy. And they started with what? The Burj Arab, the first
Seven star hotel.
the 7-star hotel in the world.
Hmm.
And people, and when you come to their country, they now advertise what they have to offer you. They don't have to start convincing you. When you see it, you see the security, you see how organized everything is. They make it easy for you to do whatever you want to do. You understand?
Hmm.
They don't exploit you. It's easy for you to go and invest. A lot of Nigerians are going to invest. So what is stopping Nigeria from doing the same thing? You understand?
Hmm.
Do the right thing, make sure we have the right infrastructure, invest in our hospitals, invest in that's the healthcare sector, invest in our educational sector. This our educational sector. You cannot imagine the amount of jobs that it will create. The
Hmm.
teachers, in Nigeria here, teachers are not being valued. That's why in the last administration, ASU, that's the university lecturers, went on strike for almost a year, and the
Hmm.
government didn't really care. Why? Because they are not investing in the educational sector. Their kids are not studying, just like they are not doing their medical checkups in this country. Their kids don't study here.
So there's
Their
no
kids,
emotional investment.
if their kids are here, they will invest. They will
Hmm.
invest this money in the educational sector. If you go to some of the schools, it's nothing new. You don't have chairs. The schools, some in some cases you don't even have enough classrooms. In some
Hmm.
cases you sit down under mango tree or a tree. In some cases you have classrooms, dilapidated classrooms, no roof. There's this
Hmm.
particular school now that through one NGO that we are working on. About 80% of the students don't have sitting chairs and
Eighty
table.
percent.
80, only one class in the primary school that has complete sitting chairs and tables for the children in one
Hmm.
class. There are four classrooms that have chairs. The other class has about 70% for chairs and tables for the students. Then the
Hmm.
other class has about 50%. The last class has about 30%
Hmm.
chairs and tables for the students. The remaining classrooms for the primary school don't have chairs. and tables. The secondary school, there's a secondary school within that same compound. No chairs, no tables. How do you want
What kind of
what kind of
environment?
knowledge are you going to do?
Yeah,
What kind of environment?
yeah.
These
Would you
are
say?
just basic things.
Yeah.
You understand? So, like I said, very, very unpatriotic politicians and very selfish
Hmm.
that only care about themselves. Since their kids are studying abroad, like the last time they were talking with the minister as regards the strike, that's the former minister during the Buhari administration. The ASU went to sit down with him, and the first thing they drew his attention to is that his child is abroad or just graduated.
Hmm.
But is that one of the reasons why he doesn't even care about? And the minister just walked out. And the minister can walk out. Why? Because one, he's a friend to the president, and the president the president himself doesn't even really care about the schools because even his own children who don't even study in the country.
In the
He
country,
doesn't.
yeah.
Yes, he's all his medical. There was a time he was abroad for almost 3 months treating himself abroad. If abroad, this prime ministers go to the same hospitals that every other citizens go to, and don't forget that you have the state's house clinic that they are constantly budgeting billions of naira for,
Hmm.
and they cannot go for they cannot go and treat themselves there for medical checkups and some other things. So
Hmm.
they need to invest. Once they invest in, if they invest in the transportation system now, the amount of roads, the amount of jobs it will create, anything they are investing in, they are going to create jobs. And you know, other multi companies, all
Hmm.
these big time companies, when they see all this basic infrastructure, they understand that these people are serious people. There are things you look out for: one, security; two, economy. Is your economy stable?
Hmm.
The amount of businesses that have closed down just in the past 1 year,
Yeah.
if they give you the statistics, you'll be so shocked.
I've seen some of the
Because
headlines, and yeah, shocking, very shocking, Omar. And I
if,
think
if for example, I'm in the baking industry, I buy flour to make bread, and I'm selling a loaf of bread, for example, for 1,000 naira.
okay,
And by the time I sell this my bread, within that week, I've sold my bread, I've gotten that money, the initial money that I've spent. By the time I'm buying flour the next time or whatever I'm buying the next time, the money has increased because of dollar. So at the end of the day, you will find out that the money you have gotten, you're not able to even get back,
reinvest.
uh, reinvest.
Hmm.
So every time, who wants to come and invest in this kind of economy?
No, I totally.
Last year, last year we were buying bread for around between 500 to 600. Now, as I speak with you, we're buying bread for a loaf of bread is about 1,500 just within a year. Eh? Rice, rice that we're talking about.
Hmm.
How much was it? When you hear these prices, and it's everything,
Hmm.
so there's no confidence in the system. Then you now talk about the no power for you to be able to industrialize. Without power, you can't industrialize. You still have to import, and the power too is another issue entirely.
Hmm. So,
So they
Umar,
need to fix power.
I think I think we should put a pause to it because you and I know that when we talk, we can talk forever. So I am going to we're going to speak again, and there are many other things I think we can touch on in subsequent episodes, because this state of the nation, I'll probably like to us to do some kind of like series on it. So this
Okay.
one I'll really say is really focused on security, but like you said, security is not standalone. Security touches on
It doesn't.
other
It
parts
doesn't.
of the
It
ecosystem
doesn't.
that makes Nigeria or makes a country what it is. But I'd like us to
Yes.
possibly explore other areas. There are things like inflation control. You touched on forex. We can look at the liquidity of forex. We can look at agriculture. We can look at poverty alleviation on its own. We can look at even things like oil theft, corruption, electoral reform, economic
Yeah.
diversification, and even international relations, and any other topics, education
Yes.
on its own. And we can look at maybe subsequent episodes where we do a deep dive, and even the question
Yeah.
of how is Nigeria today. But I know to
Yes.
ask that question earlier about the state of the nation, and I really appreciate your coming on the show, ladies and
Mm.
gentlemen. Like
Let
I
me let me
mentioned
let me
earlier,
let me let me let me quickly touch on something, right? Just
please go
briefly.
ahead.
What anybody that is listening or that has the opportunity to hear what I'm saying, you understand? He needs to advise the president and, in general, the political elites. What they have to understand is, if Nigeria fails, we all fail.
Hmm.
And we have to first admit that we have got this thing wrong. If we don't admit that we have gotten this thing wrong, what we are doing, we will never get it right. So the government needs to sit down, and just like how former President Yar'Adua, may so rest in peace,
Amen.
admitted that yes, the process that brought him in was wrong,
Go.
and he tried, he went all out. The president needs to go all out. All these our politicians that just sit down, they need to go all out, mingle with people to get this, information firsthand. Don't allow all these your ministers to come and be giving you this information. Their aim is just to see that how do we make the lives of Nigerians better. The
Hmm.
statistics is your report card. Whatever you tell us is you are just is TV.
Hmm.
Is TV. What Nigerians are feeling is the reality. So no matter how if the people are giving us information, twist, try to make us feel like the country is in a good is on the right track, we are just fooling ourselves. We are just fooling ourselves. We need to tell ourselves the truth. We need to fix the issue of security. We need to fix the issue of health. We need to fix the issue of education. We need to be fix the issue of election, how our leaders are being elected, accountability,
Hmm.
issue of local government, autonomy of the judiciary, autonomy of local government, autonomy of the security forces, you know. So they need to sit down and think about this country in the next 20 years. How will
Yeah.
this country be?
Hmm.
How will this country be? Agriculture. We need to invest massively. All this traveling, please, they should stop traveling. They should stop traveling. Stay in this country. Instead, they should even be sending representatives. Our president doesn't need to be traveling. He should stay in this country and tackle all these issues that are facing us. Because, Yemi, Nigerians are dying of hunger.
Hmm.
This education, there are a lot of people that have removed their kids from school. There are a lot of people. There are people that cannot afford for their child to even enter transport to go to a healthcare center, a healthcare center that don't have like you see one doctor for three local governments. Just let them just do the basics. Let them just do the basics.
Focus
Please,
on
all
basic.
those coastal telling us about coastal roads and all, it just fix our schools. fix our schools, fix our hospitals. All these ones will create jobs, and those people that have destroyed this country must be brought to book. That's just the truth. Because you cannot have these people flaunting this same money that they have used to destroy this country. It's the same money that they are flaunting, building houses. We've seen all these houses everywhere, building houses, buying flashy cars, spending money on cars, planes, all this. We don't need all these things. Let Nigeria, let our if our people are doing well, who is complaining about the American president buying plane or having the most expensive car? They are rich now. They have
Yep.
made money. They have this money. Their schools are good. So the politicians, they need to have a rethink, a serious rethink. You know,
Thank you.
that's
Thank you.
that.
Thank you very, very much. And for the viewers that are listening, if they want to, follow you, subscribe to you as well, and leave you a comment. I mean, I want them to leave you a comment on the show, but say they want to get in touch with you, or they want to follow you. Do you have any social media handles that you want to say so that they can follow you directly there and follow the conversation with you?
Okay, I'll give it to you so that you will now paste it maybe during the
I'll put
this
it on the
thing. You
screen. Yeah, I'll put it on the screen, and I'll also put it in the description below. Umar, I want to give you a profound thanks. Thank you so much for coming on the
no
show.
problem.
I
No problem. It's
totally
my pleasure.
enjoyed it, and I know the viewers
No
will
problem.
have a lot to say as well about this. Thank you so much, and
You're welcome.
viewers, like I
You're
mentioned
welcome.
earlier, subscribe. And any final thoughts, Umar?
Nigerians are greater together. We are greater together. If we come together, everybody is doing his own thing. The East, they have what we can contribute. The North has a lot that can contribute. The West, South, all of us, we are greater together. We just need to understand that the masses have been pitched against each other.
Hmm.
But as me and you know, you are Yoruba, I'm Hausa. We
Mm-hmm.
have other people that we've grown up with that are Igbos. you
Yes.
know. So the issue of tribe and religion is just a distraction to Nigerians. It's just a distraction. I have so many friends that are Igbos, I have so many friends that are Yorubas, I have so many friends that are Akwa Ibom, from different places from Nigeria. We are living peacefully. There's no
Hmm.
problem. They come to my house, I go to their house, we eat together. They try our own Hausa dishes. We try their own Hausa dishes.
Mhm.
One of the things I eat, if I'm outside and what I eat is amala and begriati ewedu. Yeah?
Why not? Why not?
You understand what I'm saying? So if we are together, we have a lot to offer the world. We have a
Hmm.
lot to offer the world. If this country breaks, as some people are agitating for, but I don't blame them because it's because of the injustice too that has been going on
Mhm.
and sense of not being included. Then another thing is, I'm not in support of this rotational presidency.
Okay.
Anybody that is competent, anybody that is competent as long as that person is going to be fair, we have a system that will protect anybody as long as you are a Nigerian. Nobody is going to bother about Rishi Sunak, the Prime Minister of. I don't know if he has been removed or I don't. You guys were there. There's an election going on. If he was like that, will he be the Prime Minister of England or
No.
Britain?
No.
He will not be. Who cares about whether his dad is from India or who cares? Can he do the job? Is what the people are asking. As long as he
Hmm.
can do the job, right? Let them bring anybody. If Americans they see your potential and can give you citizenship, today to better their society. Why can't we do that? Why can't we give opportunities to someone who is Igbo or who is Hausa or who is minority or who is from any tribe to be the president of this country? If there's a level playing ground. So this issue of rotational presidency and all this is we're just fooling ourselves. Please, we just need who is competent, who can fix our problems. We don't need who is from so place or who is so religion. The religion of Islam or Christianity doesn't tell you to go and steal money. It doesn't tell you to hate your neighbor. It tells you to
Yeah,
live in harmony, to love your neighbor, love yourself, love your neighbor like the way you love
as
yourself.
thyself. Yeah.
It's preaching good things. Everything is about good things. But are we practicing our religion? That's the question we need to ask ourselves. We say we
So
are
thank
very
you.
religious. Are we practicing ourselves?
Thank
We
you.
have to.
Thank you so much. And yes, you raised a number of salient points. And like I said earlier, we will be continuing this conversation. Thank you so much for joining. Viewers, we'll see you in the next one.